Welcome everybody, my name is James Blackwell and today I am doing a very exciting interview with one of my mentees, Mehul Sharma. So Mehul Sharma is based in Canada and she runs an agency called White Jobs. And we've been working together I think over the last 4 to 5 months since the program launched. And Mehul, welcome to today's interview.
Thank you. Thank
Very
you so much.
So appreciate you taking the time on to today. So first of all, just obviously to take the viewers back, like how did you actually get started in recruitment?
Okay, so when I started in recruitment, I was working with this staffing agency before. That was my first time getting into recruitment. And then the main pattern that I was seeing across Canada was majority of the staffing agencies does work in logistics and supply chain sector, but then they don't really have good relationship or firm relationship with the temp employees that they were scheduling out to work for them. And this was my main reason. Like, I wanted to have strong bonding with the people that we are at least scheduling out, and then they're representing us. And I thought things needs to get changed. So that is my main reason that I had I planned an agency, and I was like, this is how we're going to work with. So we kind of work, we tried, and we have been setting how our work has been. We've been trying to work on a different platform when it comes to in comparison to another agencies, in a way that all the people that are currently working with us, even though they are our temp employees or temp to permanent or anything like that, they are our major backbone, and then we kind of have very strong relationship with them. So this has been the major reason and for getting into recruitment, that I like working with people. I like helping them out whenever they need, and the only way to achieve that is to have a strong relationship with them.
Awesome. So talk me through, like, when did you actually start your business, White Jobs?
2017. Yeah, it's been 3 years.
Awesome. Can you remember what that first day and week was like when you first started your agency?
It was August. It was actually first week of August 2017. Yeah, we my 3 years are again. It was 7th of August, I remember. So it's gonna be soon. I believe our anniversary is gonna be soon here.
Awesome. So what was it like back then? Were you in an office? Like, were you working from home? Like, how did it start?
No, I was working from home for almost like 2-3 months. I ended up working from home. I remember the days, because I started with the temp sector, so I remember the days when people used to come over at our home, and then we used to pass on their paychecks, and then I used to do my interviews in my living room, and it was like crazy. But then after 3 months, I kind of decided that no, things needs to get improved, and then I need to get into an office. So we got into a shared office space, where there were like multiple companies, like almost 80-90 companies, and we had like 2 offices in that building, and then that's how we started.
Awesome. So what was your first deal, like your first placement? What was that like? How long did it take you?
Well, my first deal, I got them through in my first week, and then they're still my client. And then I do have very, like, this is what I was telling to my client the other day, that I do have very strong emotional relationship with them, considering they are one of my first, and they are my first actually. So yeah, so they are still working with them. So we are actually placing all together. We have 14 active candidates working there at this point of time.
Wow. And
Yeah.
and it's funny and ironic, actually. That's very similar to my agency, Ronald James. When I first started Mehul, our second placement was with one of our longest serving, biggest clients that we still work with today and have done multiple placements with. So sometimes, like, there's some of the first clients you win, sometimes
Yeah.
work out to be like your longest serving ones as well.
Yeah, yeah. No, because I believe the major reason is when you get them on board, you have all your attention towards them because they're one of your first, right? And then you kind of build that strong relationship with them, and that's how it kind of goes forward.
Yeah, that's so true. So what would you say has been your biggest learnings in your first year? So, like, how did you end the first year in terms of uh, like your billings and performance? Was it just still you in the business back then?
That's right. For the minimum 6 months, it was just me who was working, and then it was very funny. when I started working, I didn't considering, now I don't know if you know this or not, the majority of the staffing agencies, you kind of like schedule, you kind of source candidates, and then you send them over to another people, and then I mean clients, and then the candidates start working for the clients directly. But in our case, the candidates that we're sourcing will be on our payroll for the minimum 3 months. So when I talk about my first year's journey, I literally had to learn how to run payroll, all these different aspects on payroll, hours, invoicing, bookkeeping, all these things I learned by myself from the scratch from Google. And then that's how I kind of worked it out. But then after 6 months, I was able to have some people on board, and that's how we kind of went on. When it comes to billing, during my first 6 months, I was able to acquire minimum 3 clients. So I had 3 clients on board. They were regular active clients. The billing was I could say I was able to manage the expenses of an office and then work things out. But then it was not really that great at that point of time. It was after my 1 year, I had to put in really a lot of hard work, and then a lot of time into my first year. And then after that, things started getting better.
So looking back, like, can you remember why you actually started your business? Why did you get into owning your own business in the first place?
Why? That's a good question. It was all if I get into the situation aspect, um, I don't know, the agency that I was kind of connected with, I was not really happy with the processes that they were moving forward with. And then I wanted something different. Like I said, I wanted something else. And then I was not able to, like, then I did my research throughout Canada. Was whatever I wanted, I was not able to get it anywhere. So that was the major reason. I thought, no, this is like, um I need to do something by myself, what I wanted to achieve. And it was very difficult situation, considering I'm talking about 3 years back. And then I was just like 21 years old at that point of time. I didn't really have a lot of money to invest, nothing. It was a really difficult situation. But things kind of moved forward, and I think that I don't know, like I don't have any certain answer to that why I started my own business. But it's just what I wanted to achieve. I didn't really felt anybody was offering out in the market, and I just wanted to create it by myself. That's what it is.
Cool. Because I know I suppose it's slightly different because a lot of people do it for like freedom, lifestyle,
No, it's not.
financial impact as well. But you have a different driver, don't you?
Yeah, it is completely different. I'm talking about the temp workers. I'm talking about the just say, like, in Canada, majority of the people that come over to Canada are international students that works in the logistics and supply chain sector. But how they're dealt with is they come over, like, if a agency, they say they are trying to fulfill a certain position, the students, they're kind of like asked to come over, they join a job or something, and then later on when the job is not there, the students are kind of like let go without even giving them proper notice, no conversation, nothing at all. And that used to break my heart a lot, that hey, at least you're supposed to let the guy know that hey, this is what's been going on. And that is why we're not able to give you a job, and there's no or at least have a sustainable relationship with the person. And that used to be a pattern throughout. And then with me, like, I wanted to change that, and this is the only reason. No freedom,
Yeah.
nothing else.
Awesome. So talk me through, like, if you could imagine before we started working together, I think it was like back in February time, like where were you before joining Recruiter Accelerator in the program? Like, can you imagine what was your agency like then?
I remember talking to you in February. I was doing, like I said, my pattern has always been that I used to do all the jobs by myself. I was involved in payroll. I was involved in bookkeeping. I was doing interviews. I was hiring people. I was reaching out to clients, everything. Despite even having my team on board, still I was involved in each and everything. But then when I got into Recruiter Accelerator, that's when I, like, you taught me that how I can focus on one particular task, and then kind of like focus on that, and then forward the other things out to my team so that they can take care of the things. But I learned that stuff from you, basically.
Yeah. And how does that feels for you now in terms of how you've managed to outsource some?
Way better. I can focus on my stuff. At the same time, my things have gotten very productive. My days are very productive. I can focus on my family. I can focus on a lot of other things. At the same time, I'm still um, getting the same amount of results that I was getting before.
Yeah.
And then I can say even more. It's
That's
not
good.
that.
So
Yeah.
what would you say what wasn't working for you before we started working together?
I was all over the place. And I know you kind of taught me that when it comes to Recruiter Accelerator, like our main focus was to just say client acquisition, or all these candidate pre-screening, and all these things are getting managed in a certain way that you're not really like you're not really all over the place, right? With me, that's what it was. My day used to start at 6 a.m. I used to call the people, asking them, hey, are you reaching a job or not? And then later on, I used to be like, okay, I used to pre-screen the candidates, reach out to the clients, then invoicing, then bookkeeping. And this was when I had a proper team on board. When this thing happened, when Recruiter Accelerator got on board, you kind of showed me that how I can divide my job and what are the main things I should focus on to make sure that everything gets run in a proper way. What should be my ideal um, what should be the things that I should mainly focus on? Like, what should be the main things that I should work on rather than everything else? And then that's now I have a set plan that, okay, I only focus on certain things, and I kind of divert it out to other people that whatever I need their help with. And things are getting way better now for me. Earlier, it used to be like 12, 14 hours worth of day for me. Now it's like 8-hour working day for me. So it's kind of like way better for me now.
That's good because to be honest, I remember speaking to you, and you did look tired and burnt out because you
Yeah.
were working a lot of hours.
Yeah, I was working like 12, 14 hours a day straight. And then I had no time for my family, nothing. I never thought, like, I was actually getting to a point where I was like doubting my decision to open my own business. That I don't know, like, if I could have been working like 8 hours somewhere, I know that, okay, I'm only working 9 to 5, and then 5 o'clock I'm leaving for home, and that's it. But then here, like, I'm putting in 14, 15 hours a day. I don't know whether I can sustain this life for like longer period of time or not.
Yeah, and it's great that you've managed to turn that around because
Yeah.
once you have simple systems and the process and the right type of starting conditions, like getting your agency back to the right starting conditions and the fundamentals.
There was, like, we had this, just say if I talk about CRM software, so we had CRM softwares, but there were no proper use of that,
Hmm.
right? Or, and then just say if I talk about client acquisition, it was all manual. So you kind of showed me that how everything can be more automated, how we can rely on how we can rely on technology and then still get the things done in a better format.
So talk me through like the client side because I remember when you came to me, you had some good clients, but there was certain clients you wanted to get into, and you didn't have like a system in place, did you, to get clients? Like you would literally just cold calling.
Yeah, it was just cold calling, and I never used to enjoy that. Yeah,
Mm.
because I told you, I came from a recruiter setup, and then I was just recruiting. I like to talk to people, but when it comes to a situation where I had to do cold calling, or when I had to do sales, I never used to enjoy that aspect. I used to feel like maybe I'm just bugging other person and calling them again and again.
Yeah.
But then with the system that we follow right now, it's a step by step process, and I kind of enjoy it. Whenever I have a lead come through, or whenever somebody actually reaches out to me, I kind of enjoy that process now.
Yeah. And it makes
Earlier,
it fun.
I'm sorry.
It makes it fun again.
It is fun. It is fun. Earlier, when somebody used to just say, I used to call people and I used to tell them that, hey, this is what we do, and then this is how we can help you. If just say if a client used to a potential client used to give me an order or something like that, I used to get stressed about it, how I'm gonna deal with stuff and how I'm gonna complete this. I wanted to make sure that things are getting run in a very smooth manner, but I didn't have the tools.
Yeah.
Right now I have everything now. Like, just say, whenever I can acquire clients, the clients, whenever they are placing any position with us, I'm confident that I'm able to complete that particular, like I can have that particular position filled without even getting that stressed, because I have the tools.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's awesome. And I remember when you were building out your Dream 100, which we teach in the program as well, there was a certain client that you wanted to get on board, and
They got on
tell us
board.
more about that, because you managed to win them, didn't you?
Yeah. So they were a part of my Dream 100 list, and they've been on my list from a while. But then I remember I was talking to this during the COVID time. I was quite depressed, and I was kind of like, okay, I don't know what is going on, and with the COVID situation, I don't know how things will be. And then you kind of put it in a way that, see, think it this way, that now people are working from home, so they will be most active on their emails or other profiles, and they will be most active over there. So why don't you just try reaching out to them? And then that's what I did. I kind of followed that. And then this particular client that you were talking about, so he kind of liked the way that I reached out to him, that is kind of shown in our program. And then he kind of suggested that, okay, Mehul, once things will be back to normal, then we will set up a meeting, or we will set up a lunch, and then we can have a conversation. And then I earlier, actually, I just thought that it's just a random reply, like people just used to reply like that. But then he actually reached out to me because he was very impressed with the way I reached out to him earlier. And then he did, and then we had a small meeting, and then we're working with them now.
That's awesome. Have you made any placements yet with that client?
Yes, we've made 5 placements with them.
Wow, amazing. So how much
Yeah.
was that worth to you in terms of fees?
25 grand.
Nice. Good
Yeah.
work, Mehul. Well done. So, okay, cool. I mean, looking back then, what made you actually choose to work with me, Mehul, if you look back and you remember that time before you joined?
Do you remember I was quite vulnerable when I was talking to you for the first time? Like, I didn't know what to say and everything, and then I was kind of like all over the place and nothing. I was actually reaching out to different coaches at that point of time. I had these meetings with different coaches, and then I was not sure what to do, how to do. I got to a level, before I actually had a word with you, I had a word with somebody, and then that person actually made me doubt myself to a level that I was kind of like, I'm doing everything wrong. Right. But when I had a word with you, you kind of showed me that no, this is how every other person who's starting up their business is. They're kind of clueless and they don't really know how things work. And then this is actually normal. And then that's how I kind of connected with you, because you actually told me about your journey, like how you built it up, your empire and everything, and then how things work with you, and then I kind of related with that.
Yeah, that's cool, because I think it's important. Like, you select the right mentor for you and you need to have that synergy and the good
Yeah.
flow, which is really important. And also, like, is the person. So I always pick my mentors, and I've said in my many YouTube videos, I invest a lot in mentorship programs, masterminds, because I really believe that's what gets you to the next level. And once you start on that journey, you want more, and you want to learn more and implement more and keep growing and
That's
evolving.
Yeah, but then I related with you on that level, that when you started, okay, you were maybe kind of like me,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And then that's how we went on and on and on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Tony Robbins says it as well. Like, success leaves clues. So if you can follow in the footsteps of somebody that's been there, done that, and is where you want to be in 2 or 3 years' time, it's a lot easier to bolt on the back and piggyback off them and follow their journey and roadmap of how they actually did that. Because that's a lot better than just maybe other people teaching theory or maybe some outdated methods. Like, I'm still in the office today, as you can see. Like, I'm teaching battle tested strategies that I'm
Yeah,
implementing in my
that you're
agencies.
implementing. Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think sometimes that's the difference, because it's important that I test what works and what doesn't work. So I know exactly what to teach as well. Great. So,
But just to say, like, this has been more than, I know you teach what you kind of what you're kind of like testing out in your company. But then at the same time, it's been more than just work. It's been a journey for me on the emotional aspect as well, right? Because I used to, like I said, I used to get stressed on certain situations, but I kind of learned from you that how we can be calm and cool and still deal with the situation in a way better manner. The way you kind of give advice to all the fellow individuals that are a part of program right now, I kind of read all the comments and everything, and then that's when I kind of put myself in a situation that would I've been thinking in this way, like if I could have been in this situation, no. And then it's been a great journey for me when it comes to work. Yes, you've been teaching a lot of different stuff, but it's been a great journey for me in the emotional aspect as well. It kind of helped me a lot.
Yeah, and mindset's really big, isn't it, Mehul, what you see, because the mindset's probably the biggest thing that holds most people back in terms of understanding their psychoanalysis of themselves, their limited beliefs. It's all about obviously thinking positive outcomes, and instead of being reactive, using the primal fear-based and worried about certain little things, it's like, let's relate it back to the bigger picture, and let's assess what's actually happening here, because people get involved in the emotion too much. If a client gets annoyed with you or you lose a placement, etc., let's reset and actually have a bigger mindset and shift around. And that's the thing, you evolve over time, don't you? So the Mehul who you are now is different to who you were a year ago, and you keep improving that version of yourself. So and I think I shared in the group of that interview with Matthew McConaughey when he was accepting the award about who his hero is, and his hero is himself in 10 years time. And once he gets to that hero, then it's another 10 years time, and you keep evolving, and you want to keep looking up to your future self, because as humans, we want to evolve and we want to grow. And that starts with the mindset, and it's so important, because you can teach all of the techniques and tools, but if you haven't got your mindset right, then that's the biggest thing that holds you back from fear. And on that note as well, what would you say to someone that's actually been on the fence? Because someone that's on the fence and joining and thinking, oh, it's an investment, and they see it as a cost, and they think, oh, well, I don't know. What would you say to them?
To be honest, if you're serious about running an agency or running your own business, this is the best investment you could do. Like that's what I think right now. Like if you think about like getting on fence or anything like that, maybe like if I think about me back in February or anything, I could have been in the similar spot. But then this is the best decision that I made. When it comes to my agency right now, things are very smooth. The people that are currently working for us, they have set processes that they're following, and then they're producing results. I am happy. My days are more productive, but I'm working lesser number of hours. And yeah, like as I said, like this is the best thing you could do to yourself and to your company.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Mehul. So talk me through, just to finish on, where do you want to get to in the next 12 months? Like, what is the journey for Mehul in the next year or so, and White Jobs, and where do you want to take this?
When it comes to White Jobs, so we are currently a local company. Like we're located in Lower Mainland, Vancouver. And then now recently last month we've been working into the sector of logistics and supply chain only. We just launched our IT division, and then now we're working in the IT division as well. But then my right away, like I plan my years in a way that my next year's goal is this, and then 3 years, and then kind of like that. But then how I planned it is, one thing I would have to do is move all over BC. So we are currently only in Vancouver, but we would have to start servicing all over BC, and then Edmonton, and then Toronto. So I want to take it towards to be a nationwide company. Then just Lower Mainland.
Love that.
That's
Great.
yeah.
Well, listen, thanks so much for sharing your journey, Mehul. And I'm really looking forward to continue to work with you, see you grow and evolve, both personally and professionally. And it's been a pleasure working with you so far, and I appreciate you sharing your journey with everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.